Okay, phase 3 of digital lab coat. This is the replication phase, where we're doing what's done in actual science. When someone finds a result, often other researchers will repeat that same experiment to see if they obtain the same result. We want an experiment to be replicable so that we know that a result is really true. If it just happened the one time, it's probably just a fluke and there isn't really a relationship between the two variables. So phase 3, that's what we're going to do, replicate experiments. Click active, and you're going to get a list of experiments that your peers have completed. You'll see the two variables they compared and also the title that they gave their experiment. Your task in this phase is to pick 10 experiments and replicate them, see if you get the same result. So let's pick something that might look interesting here. Let's look at happiness level versus confidence in identity. So what you'll see here on this screen is the details about the original experiment and also the information about the replication that you just performed. So you'll see their variables, their hypothesis, and these are the important boxes here that you're going to use to answer the questions below. So for the original statistic, that is the R value that the original student got from their phase 2 experiment. Your statistic means that basically we've done that whole statistics thing that we did in phase 2. We've run it again in the background, but with a different sample of students. So we have a different 200 data points than the original experimenter, and we have our own new R value. You're going to be looking at these two R values and seeing whether they match and whether or not yours is significant and stuff. So let's look at the first question. Is your result significant? So we look at our statistic, which is minus 0.347, and we compare that to our crit, 0.139. So ignoring the sign, 0.347 is bigger than 0.139, so we say yes, our result is significant. For the second question, did the experiment replicate? What we're looking to see is whether or not our result matches or is the same as the original experimenter's result. So we need to look at all three values. Let's look at the original statistic. It was significant, and it was a negative correlation. So our original experiment found a significant negative correlation. Now you compare your statistic again with the critical statistic, and you see that you also got a significant negative relationship, which means, yes, the experiment replicated. There are a couple of other, oops, let's minimize that. There are a couple of other possibilities here. You might have got, say, positive 0.347 as your result. If this is the case, then the experiment did not replicate because you got a positive correlation and they got a negative correlation. Even though both are significant, they have to be both positive or both negative in order to replicate. So make sure that the signs between your experiment and the original experiment, they have to match in order for there to be a replication here. The other possibility is that if you guys both got insignificant results, then the experiment replicated. If they're both insignificant, we don't care about positive or negative or anything like that because basically we determine there's no relationship. So if you had 0.05 as your statistic and the other person had negative 0.02, those are both insignificant, and so we'd say, yes, the experiment replicated. If you kind of need that repeated, you can click help, and it explains it all there. And finally, this is an easy one, you rate how interesting the result is. So do we think it's interesting that happy people seem to have lower confidence in identity? There's a negative correlation here. So the higher the happiness level, the lower the confidence in identity. I don't think I'd expect that to be the case, so I'd say that's pretty interesting. So on just this scale here, you say how interesting it is. I'd say it's pretty interesting. Then you click submit. So there's one replication complete. To do the next one, you just click return to phase 3, and you'll see the one that you completed, and you'll have a list of other ones to choose from. So what you're going to do is you're going to do this 10 times till you've done your 10 replications, and then that's the end of phase 3.